And this time, I don't have that funny accent. It is episode number 25, which we're dedicating to Stephen Douglas Kerr.
Wow.
Steve Kerr.
You gave out the whole government.
Right.
His nickname is Ice. He averaged 6 points over his NBA career. No, it's kind of funny but I mean, he did shoot 50% from three a couple times, and he was high 40s. So this was a guy that you wanted to knock down some 3-point shots, and now he's coaching a team that knocks down a lot of 3-point shots. So I got to give props to Steve Kerr in this episode.
Hey, that's fine. Well, old Steve Kerr is cool. F Warrior Steve Kerr.
Yeah, I would say so.
Is that some Viva chicken you were just sipping on right there?
Oh, this is a little Qdoba. Got a little Qdoba. Surf and turf is money.
I got Chipotle in the fridge though. No need to run to go get it anymore.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
that works out good. But yeah, Steve Kerr. So we're dedicating this episode to him. How you doing in Charlotte? You're in Charlotte, right? Not Raleigh.
Yeah. I'm in Charlotte. Matt's in Raleigh. He'll be joining us later. At least that's what he said. But I'm doing good. Just bought a camera, so my pockets are hurting. We're gonna eat some ramen noodles for a little bit. Other than that, it's been pretty good. I mean, humid out, sweating balls, going to the gym, same old, doing homework.
It was 47 degrees when I woke up this morning. It's supposed to be 37 tomorrow morning. So it's
I didn't even know it
cold
got cold in Oklahoma.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the weather's like in Oklahoma.
It's starting to get chilly.
Snow?
It's been
Y'all
nice.
get blizzards out there.
It doesn't really snow a lot. Last year it snowed like a couple times. Sometimes it will. Mostly ice.
It shuts down the whole city.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Same here.
We're
same here. Yeah.
You know, if there's an inch of snow on the ground, it's stay at home day. I mean,
same here
for sure. The whole city. What's going on in the DMV?
Not much. It's been hot here. I thought summer was gone, but I guess it's not.
Man.
Yeah, it got cold for a little bit, and then it's been hot again here.
Yeah,
we're on the same page.
Nice, man. Well, we got a lot on the docket, don't we, Diggs?
Yeah, we got a lot. It's funny because I was halfway through the day. I was saying we might actually make it through a week with no major injuries, but
no,
lost Odell and
no major injury to star players, but there's a lot of major injuries each year.
Well, yeah, that. But
so
yeah, go ahead.
All right, and we might talk about this a little more as the episode gets going, but I'm reading I'm actually listening to it when I have to go on the road a little bit of Tom Brady's book. I don't know if you heard of it, the TB12 method.
Yeah.
It's actually really good, but he talks about, and Tom Brady's obviously not the most athletic, but he's only sustained one injury really in his life.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the ACL
kind of a freak one, yeah.
Those are unavoidable.
Yeah.
But he talks about the pliability of muscles and flexibility and basically putting pressure off of the joints and into the muscles. And he also talks about every individual, has a certain amount of muscle mass that they should have that they could carry, with their joints and with their bone structure. But it, really made it interesting is the pliability of the muscles and stretching and lengthening them before and after workouts, and how it's more of a prehab than rehab, and that's what he focuses on.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot in that book that makes a ton of sense for for athletes that don't use it. Not just Tom Brady, but wide receivers, running backs. They're not doing it as much, and Tom Brady even comes out in his book and says it. A lot of people don't understand this philosophy.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you think when you think football, when you think working out, you just think weights, and that's right. Most football players do is just go and lift weights. And once they lift the weights and they're done with all their sets, yeah, they probably go sit in a cold tub or something like that, get it massaged out. But they never, outside of that, I don't see them doing much. Outside, maybe the top ones will, obviously Tom Brady, somebody like that, somebody who really cares for their body. I mean, they all care for their body to some degrry, but there's people who go above and beyond.
But I just think the more injuries that are sustained, and then another thing I'll mention when we get into Odell, something I thought of, but I think that some of these skill position players could practice, especially a wide receiver. I mean, you don't have to be super big. a linebacker, running back is a little different animal. Offensive line, defensive line, but wide receivers, defensive backs, I honestly don't think you have to be as big as some of them are. They are rather, to create the longevity for their career, they need to practice some of these things that's in the TB12 method. It's definitely, I would definitely pick it up and read it if you could, because there's some good stuff in there.
I mean, when you would talk about pliability and lengthening the muscles, it kind of just goes hand in hand with Pilates. And that's what we saw Jake Arrieta doing in his Cy Young season. They had a SportsCenter special on him, and he was literally his working out method. I mean, obviously baseball players don't work out as much as other sports, but was strictly Pilates and just stretching and getting himself more flexible because he's obviously a pitcher. And it helped him avoid major injuries throughout the year, which we see with baseball. One thing with me is I think the lack of practice time and things like that is actually hurting injuries. Obviously, you have ones like Odell, which is going to happen regardless because it's a contact injury, but the non-contact injuries have to be from a lack of practice time. I mean, you see KC, they have two players. Chris Conley just went out with a ruptured Achilles, and then Eric Berry had a ruptured Achilles. So they need to either change something in their program or, I don't know, maybe the joints and muscles just aren't used to the cutting and everything they're doing. Because, I mean, yeah, you may do it in practice, but it's not the same as you're about to get hit and you make a cut, like a super hard cut. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I just think there's, and another thing with the pliability of the muscles, there's a lot of foam rollers, like really stiff foam rollers, and actually, stretches and lengthening of the muscles that I think would help. It just would help tremendously, because it takes, by having your muscles so pliable, it kind of brings you back to when you were young. You think of middle school, you think of elementary school, and some kids broke their legs and stuff because maybe they didn't have enough calcium, or maybe it was a freak accident. But most of the time, I mean, your ankles and your knees and everything that was supposed to be flexible were super flexible. Same thing with the muscles. You shook off a lot of those injuries, and that's kind of what he's getting back to, because with age, everything starts tightening up a little more. And
it also helps to be Tom Brady and have that much money. Because, us normal citizens on this side, the ones who watch them on Sundays, we don't always have the time, let alone the money.
Right. When he talks about working out, it's 4 hours a day.
It sounds good.
It sounds good, and then you're like, the practicality of it, I don't really know. But I think I would like to see, some wide receivers. And I haven't finished the book, so, maybe – and I would hate for Edelman to be one of those, and he just tore his ACL. But maybe he's rubbed this off on some of his wide receivers or some people that have come over. But definitely take a look, because I think it's good for prehab if you are playing a lot of basketball, football. Yeah. But let's get into the injuries.
I heard Shannon Sharp talk about it, and if you notice, I think it's got to be because Odell likes to be flashy, and most players do now, especially since you can wear custom cleats and things like that. Maybe, just maybe, try spatting your ankles. Because all Odell does, it seems, is just wear socks, normal. Probably coming off of this injury, I would imagine he's going to.
Well, he taped him up for the first time after he rolled it.
Yeah.
And that was kind of shocking, to play football that long and then just to now tape up your ankles. Here's my theory, okay? And I need to do some more research because I couldn't really find it out. But the type of grass they use for soccer games, the very first one of I think it was back in 2007 or whenever the NFL went over to London to start having their games, the players complained about the field turf and that it was slicker and they were sliding a little more than in an NFL game, because soccer players like to have thicker blades and they like to be able to, slide the ball and kind of, almost hover on the grass even though they have cleats. Does that prevent, like Odell's injury, his left leg gets caught underneath the defender, the defender's bringing him down and his left leg kind of gets caught. But if he doesn't have cleats on, his leg slides on the grass. Like his foot slides, I believe, because it looked like his cleat got stuck. Doesn't it kind of look like that?
Yeah, but I don't know if it's not like you can play not in cleats.
No, absolutely not. Yeah. But I think, some guys have too long of cleats. If they want too much traction, I think that could be a detriment to you.
Yeah.
And then I also think that I think, looking at the grass and looking at how you are able to slide, look at basketball players. Russell Westbrook doesn't fall to the ground after every layup because he wants to. He does it because he's taught to. He said,
your ankles.
Yeah, and that's why you see, you see LeBron, you see Carmelo. That they'll take the pound and go into the ground because they know they're going to save their knees and ankles. And so I think by looking at the surface they're playing on, that could potentially help some of these injuries that couldn't happen.
I think the changes in turf. I mean, from week to week, you're going to be playing on different surfaces outside of back-to-back home games. I mean, every team has a different sort of grass. Some play on Bermuda or whatever, and obviously you have the field turfs and things like that. So, I mean, maybe they could look into possibly unifying what everybody plays on. Right. But at the same time, it'd be harder in a dome. I mean, only Arizona has the slide-out grass. Yeah. So.
I think it's something to look into. I'd like to, the NFL, they've got money. Let's look into this and see, because there's some injuries you can't get away from.
Yeah.
That one that Odell suffered, I watched the replay. It would be tough, but I truly think that because his cleat got stuck, his left leg planted first and it got stuck in place, I think, if he's just on a different type of surface that it slides. I'm not positive about that, but that's just I'm looking at it. Something to look into.
It's definitely just a freak injury, but just another superstar who was hurt. Aaron has it written down here as JJ Watt's broken, and that's probably definitely true. I think the man was a workout warrior. That's what he kind of built his brand on. I mean, he obviously had years of dominance from it, but he's slowly starting to break down is what it seems like. I mean, he got hurt on what was a non-contact injury. He fractured his fibula or whatever. Like, I don't know. I don't even know how that happened.
It was he kind of tripped over one of his teammates' foots and like tried to regain his footing. And it was like an awkward step that he took. And then it just broke right there.
Yeah, that guy's a freak. That's another guy that has altered the way he performed. I don't know if you watched Hard Knocks last year.
Yeah,
I think last year or 2 years ago when they were on I think it's 2 years ago when they were on the Texans.
Yeah,
and he used to be all protein, yada yada yada, but then he actually just went to eating a lot of calories, working out real hard to make sure his body has all the energy it needs, and sleeping a lot. He was sleeping 10, 11 hours a night. But you got to wonder when you look at his workout and when he's flipping over that tire for 1,500 times or however many, it was like 100 times in a day.
I mean, it's going to deteriorate. Like, I mean, you're not a bodybuilder. You have to be he's an athlete still at the end of the day, and he probably knows more about working out than me and you put together.
Right.
But at some point, you got to put one and one together when your body starts to break down like this, that you're putting too much stress on your muscles, too much stress on your bones, things like that.
It's not all about bigger, stronger, faster. Right. It's
smarter. We see
smarter.
With Tom Brady.
Let's prehab is what Tom Brady preaches.
I mean, then his teammate Whitney Merciless tore his pec. I could only imagine tearing my pec, dude. Oh my goodness.
There was actually a guy in the gym that tore his pec bench pressing.
And it was all purple.
You can see it pop. It was
you actually hurt. He had a shirt on, so I didn't see. You could actually kind of hear. I couldn't tell if it was the weights hitting or if it's actually you heard it pop.
Was he screaming?
Oh, dude, it was crazy. Like everybody thought like he was about to die, but they kind of went over. There was somebody that was an EMT came over and kind of helped him till they either took him to the hospital. Yeah, I believe they took him to the hospital.
You got to go into shock at some point with that, man. I could only once it happens, it's obviously going to hurt, but then you're just like, I'd throw up.
Everybody there, and I didn't find out till the next day, thought it was his shoulder, but it was actually he tore his pec, just because he was kind of holding this area. I guess it kind of tore. Here.
Yeah, I don't know. Your pec goes all the way to your shoulder right there, so they probably disconnected from there.
Yeah, it didn't look good. I would never want that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Texans are breaking down, but I think this is a good time for the man who we haven't seen a lot from, but Jadeveon Clowney. Last year, he was really a freak, and I mean, he's doing his thing still, but now more than ever, he's going to have to step up for the Texans.
And that's a guy that's been injury prone.
Yeah, but he's been kind
But
of
yeah,
fine in the
the
NFL.
past two
Yeah,
years he's been good. So
yeah. So I mean,
good.
we'll definitely see. I mean, they got their quarterback for the future. Deshaun Watson is s- simply short of amazing for a rookie. I mean, he put up 5 touchdowns in that loss.
He put up 5 touchdowns a week before too, I think.
Like I got him in our fantasy league, Diggs. I know nobody cares about my fantasy team, but I got him in our league, and he dropped ducats for me.
I tried to pick him up.
So,
somebody snagged him before.
I mean, just
me.
the plays he makes. I mean, it's the way the NFL is going with offensive lines being worse and worse, at least seemingly from the outside looking in. You're going to need that athleticism at some point. We saw with Mitch Trubisky last night. Yeah, his numbers weren't great, but he showed flashes. He can move the pocket and use his legs to his advantage with the like. It helps. It's easier. It's like what you see with people doing Madden. They roll out because it makes the game easier.
Yeah. Well, I think rolling out and even using like Peyton Manning was slower than molasses, right?
Yeah.
Tom Brady's not fast, but you watch the way they're able to manipulate in the pocket and even kind of take a couple steps out with their feet and footwork. So if you have somebody that's athletic like a Deshaun Watson and they have that same mentality, I think, and if RG3 would have, had that and not tried to dunk, too easily and get out. I mean, it's all about, it's all about a strong arm, but it's all about having that footwork and being able to extend the play, whether you're in the pocket or if you, kind of get out and pick up some extra blockers.
Improvising it's a very important tool in young quarterbacks now because you're not going to pick up the offense right away. Right. You're going to have to rely on your athleticism and make a play for your team because you're not always going to have a clean pocket ever, really.
I think that's everybody, to be honest. Like, I've noticed there's no, like, offensive lines like how the Patriots used to have where Tom Brady used to never got hit or Peyton Manning never got hit. Yeah, everybody gets hit now.
Exactly. I mean, even with the Raiders, they signed this monster offensive line last year. And, yeah, they were good last year. But, I mean, they still have their struggles. Obviously, Derek Carr's out with a broken back from getting sacked, so –
Is this the time where the defense? I mean, you're going to start seeing some of these offenses go back to 2010, 2000. I guess offenses really started picking up in the late 2007, 8, 9. Well, probably like 4 or 5. 2004, and then they started really picking up steam with the pass heavy offenses putting up numbers that people hadn't seen before. Is this a time where all of a sudden the defense steps in and kind of brings those passing yardages down?
Well, yeah, probably just simple yes and no. I mean, probably there are going to be less games of big numbers like that. I mean, we've already seen it now. I mean, a lot of QBs are winning with just 220 yards max throwing, things like that. But defense, I feel like defense is easier to get less practice on because it's more just film study, if that makes sense. Less than, I mean, obviously you have to execute, but you fill your gaps on run defense and you're good. And the secondary, you just have to know where to be and how to read the routes. You don't necessarily have to be physical on the back end. You have to be smart. So I feel like defenses can definitely catch up, but I feel the offense is always still going to be the focal point because we see it now more and more. You saw it last night with that crazy triple option on the 2-point conversion. College is influencing the game more than people have realized. There's more college plays being implemented into the NFL game than ever before. And that could be because quarterbacks don't have the extensive knowledge. They're coming out faster, and this is what they know. I mean, Mitch Trubisky went to Carolina solely because they ran spread, and he never had to go under center. And now you see them run a lot of plays from out of center or out of shotgun.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, I agree. I think the offense in general is going to dictate, how the defenses are designed. I think that's kind of what's for the most part in the NFL. But I don't know. I think the defense, and they never really came out and said it, but they're definitely letting defensive backs play more the past, I'd say, last year and this year for sure, maybe even the year before, which is nice because they got to a point, I think in 2012, 13, where you couldn't touch a wide receiver. Unless you were Seattle and you did it so much, they just wouldn't call it every time. Seattle was kind of the only team that would really get away with it, in my opinion. So,
I did see a play like in that Bears game where the receiver got hit coming across the middle, like square in the chest. They need to just let that go, man. They called a penalty on him.
I saw that. Yeah,
I'm like, he hit him perfect. Like, what else do you want him to do?
Even in college though, we saw that Ohio State Maryland one. Ohio State, he hit him clean, and they called him for targeting. So
that's and they don't want to slow the game down. Yeah. That needs to be an official in the box that looks at the replays. Yeah. He looks at it real quick and say, "Nope, that's not a foul."
Yeah,
pick your flag up. How hard is that?
Exactly.
I guess they want that. I mean, it's still human element, but I guess they want. I don't know, man.
You're still gonna have some human element, but I mean, there's been some crazy games like Diggs mentioned last night, and I saw that hit. It was a squared up hit, and then there was another one, and I think it was in it was either in the Green Bay Dallas game or
in Green Bay Dallas
where he hit his arm.
It was against Dez, right? Unnecessary.
Yes. Yeah, and Dez still should have caught the ball.
Yeah.
The guy's arm barely tapped his helmet going across. Yeah. That's got to be called in and said, "Hey, no, his arm hit him."
It probably looks bad in fast motion, clearly, but live speed, fast motion. But I don't know. I would love to get the experience of being a ref one game, not calling plays, but if I could just see the game through their eyes, it'd be very interesting. Because obviously, NFL is the fastest level.
It's tough. Being a ref is really not. It's not easy, especially at the highest level.
Yeah,
because they move a lot faster. And you gotta
be fast. Why is it that all refs are like
old?
77 years old? Yeah, like clearly. Like, I'm not trying to be ageist or anything here, but
I wondered the same thing, to be honest, but I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I mean, it's one thing is because they think, well, they've got so much wisdom, they're not going to let that, cloud their judgment, but they've got a lot of cloud up there to cloud
exactly, right. They got to take some longer to process things, for sure.
And there's nothing wrong. That's human. Yeah. I mean, I could process stuff probably faster. Or when I'm in my 40s, I'm definitely going to look back at these days, and man, I was faster on my feet now.
Right,
so I agree. Back then, I wonder that same thing. Some of these.
I mean, dude, you even see like half the time, like refs when they come to call the play, outside of like Ed Hockley and like their main good ones, there's some good ones, but there's certain refs who like in the Panther Detroit game, we had 11 penalties, and every time it took him like 700 years to get it out, and he always got it wrong. So. I don't know.
It's something that needs to be looked at. I would like to see some younger refs get in there. They just, make them work their way up, I guess.
That should be a poll question we make. Should there be younger refs in the NFL?
Yeah. I played golf with one ref in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and he just played golf all week. I think he flew out on a Friday or Saturday, went and did his game, but he was a retired like police chief that got into he was actually reffing high school games while he was a police chief, and then he started reffing college games, and then all of a sudden he was a sideline judge in the NFL.
That's crazy.
While he was retired. So
he's just kicking in the dough, just chilling.
Yeah, but you gotta wonder, is that who you want refereeing the games?
No, probably not. But I mean, I guess they have the most free time. I don't know. NFL, I don't know. The NBA, I knew an NCAA ref. He taught us reffing. He was a ref in our rec basketball league, but he made it seem like it was the best job ever. I mean, that was his full-time job, was being an NCAA ref. So,
being a ref, you got to have some thick skin.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yes. When I was a ref in the same rec league, I kid you not. Me and the little squad that I had got berated by a coach. Like at halftime, he literally was screaming at us, and we were just high school kids reffing the game for $10 a game.
Yeah. Oh,
it's crazy, man.
You gotta be ready.
But let's move on to there's two stories that really have been dominating at least since Sunday, the whole mainstream media. And I guess which one do you want to start with? We got Vice President Pence, who left the Colts game early, and reports are, and I'm pretty sure it's true now, this was all a publicity stunt. by the president or vice president, basically staged by Donald Trump and executed by him. And there's also the leaked footage of Chris Forrester. Is that how you say his name?
Yeah, Forrester.
Yeah. Chris Forrester snorting cocaine with some obscenities about a woman, a stripper in Las Vegas, before a meeting in the Dolphins headquarters. So which one of you guys want to tackle first? No pun intended.
Let's get this Dolphins one out of the way, man.
Okay.
But
what are your thoughts on it, Diggs? Go ahead. This is your team. Or no, it's not your team. But go ahead. I'm
offended, bro.
I mean, your team's trash anyway.
I know, but I like to own my trash.
All right.
But I just, why did you record it, man? That's like that's on the same level as marijuana. Like you don't want to see anybody doing it. And I don't know what he was thinking.
Right.
It's a little. I would say it's a little worse.
It's a little.
It's a little bit.
Yes,
but I get what you're saying.
Been going around, and it makes perfect sense. And the tweet is literally, it's got like 100,000 retweets, and it's like the two things you realize when adulting: everybody does cocaine, and cheese is freaking expensive. And I mean, like, not everybody will do cocaine, but why did you record it? Because it's one of those things that if you do it, cool, go do it, but don't put it on video, especially in a day and age where one, hacking is prevalent, and two, you can just instantly post it, and right there you're incriminating yourself. It's not like he's going to get in trouble with the police department, but you lost your job. Now you're out of the job for a while.
This is one of those things that, with technology and old people, and with technology becoming easier and easier, we're going to have more of this stuff happen. Unfortunately, I mean,
she said people, she has more.
Oh yeah, people don't think, they're like, oh, I'm just gonna send a video. They don't know that. Oh, you could record your screen. If you say that's very easy to do, and so anybody that knows tech could do that. We're gonna see this more and more, and I don't. I think there's some. If you take a football team, I think there are, and not all teams. I don't think this is all over football. Like, no. I cannot, I think there are some coaches, and you could look at his face and you could tell he had an alcohol, cocaine, some sort of drug problem. And you see coaches like that.
Yeah, I mean, it keeps them hyped up. I mean, Could you imagine him in practice? He's probably on your butt to do something.
Right. And you see some coaches that are look like that, and, hopefully, I don't know, they probably need to implement something to keep these coaches under
I got
control,
2 things.
Right.
One is, who the hell is this stripper to where she has more coaches hitting her up? Is she just like the go-to stripper for NFL coaches? I don't know.
Oh, but there's more than one coach?
She said in her thing, she was like, the reason why she was doing it is because of Kaepernick and his injustice in the NFL, and that she has more on different coaches, is what she was saying. She's threatening to drop more. Who knows if that's just an empty threat? I don't know.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah.
There's
she's not even that hot. Like, I hate to go there with it, but like, come on, man.
Yeah. But
how was that supposed to be like sexy to her, what he was saying? We all saw the video.
Yeah. I don't know.
I actually didn't watch it. But
I saw it. I didn't listen. Somebody had sent it, and they're like, dude, can you believe it? I saw the tweet. But I believe it. She probably does have dirt, because you get a lot of a society of coaches that start going there, and some of them have different morals than others. And so the ones that do have morals that would visit strip clubs or strippers or prostitutes, there's a section of the NFL that probably she knows and she's friends with, and
look,
and that's what.
At the end of the day, if you want to do coke, whatever. You're not bought. This is just my mindset. I don't care. Like, if you're gonna do something, go do it. Just don't bother me with it.
Right.
And don't record yourself. Like, what are you doing? I assume he has a wife too. Like, his wife's probably. Yeah. Geez, come on, man. Terrible.
Yeah. That's
definitely terrible.
Yeah.
Stripper's a savage, by the way.
So So there's this guy, and I have to bring this up since y'all talked about that, and it's a little outside of sports, but he's a friend of mine, but he's kind of crazy in some of his thinking. And he said, I mean, he truly believes that everything should be legalized. Any drug, meth, whatever. If people want to kill themselves, go ahead and do it. But everything needs to be legalized.
Yeah. I mean, well, maybe like I don't know about everything.
I know you start thinking about it. You're like, well, maybe not this. And,
Not everything, but like there's certain ones like.
Yeah.
I mean, like if you think about it, when it comes down to it, when you smoke weed, yeah, it may like slightly change the person who you are, but at the end of the day, you're still fully competent. You know what I mean? Like in yourself, you're never like out of this world unless you eat some crazy edible or something. But outside of that, like you're still the person. You're a normal person. And with coke, it's got to be the same way. Like clearly, he was a functioning person still. It's just the stigma that is on coke and on drugs in general. Yeah. Like if you know what I mean.
Well, and I think they do have evidence that obviously people have heart attacks and stuff.
Well, yeah, exactly.
On coke, I mean, there's a lot of long-term side effects and even some short-term side effects. So it's just it was interesting to me. It's like, yeah, let's legalize everything. If people want to be an addict and kill themselves, let's
throw them in addict town.
It's population control.
Yeah.
But anyways, he's kind of a crazy
interesting take right there.
Yeah. I don't really necessarily believe that, but
let's go on to Aaron's actual team, the Trash Colts, and the story that overshadowed what was a great game between them and your team, Justin, the 49ers. And that's Vice President Mike Pence leaving the game early and it all being set up and staged. What are you guys' thoughts? Throw me something.
Dude, can we get over this? I'm done. I'm done with this, man.
I mean, Trump tweeted today about it again, about the NFL, and Jerry Jones didn't help.
Yeah. Oh well, everybody's gonna stand up. If they don't, they're not gonna play. And now you got to say,
okay. My question is, if I'm somebody like Dak or Zeke, who, if you sit and he actually does bench you, and you're the best players, and you can easily go get a job anywhere else in the NFL, why not make a statement?
Yeah, but you're under contract, right? I mean, it's not gonna be
okay, but they're still gonna pay you.
Yeah. Well, if you don't, now it's part of the code of conduct.
You were there to play. You were ready to play.
Yeah, but in the code of conduct, they don't have to stand.
I know, but that's what Goodell's implementing, right?
Or he's thinking about it.
A memo. If he implements it in the code of conduct, now if you're an NFL player, unless you could get every single NFL player, or at least starter for the most part, to sit with you, which it's not going to happen. But you pretty much you got to stand up. You got to find another outlet to do your protest. If you want to play. I mean,
it's just crazy. The protest has turned into a protest of a protest of a protest.
Yeah. And nobody knows what people are protesting anymore. They just know that Trump's mad.
I do know it was definitely staged because the 49ers obviously have the most players kneeing every game. So he chose a convenient game to go to and told all the journalists to stay in their vans because something is about to happen, basically. And then on this note, I think Colin Kaepernick definitely needs a job. We see in Tennessee, they got a trash can at the quarterback. I mean, McCown's decent in the Jets, but he could definitely start there. The Browns need a QB. I think with the firestorm that's going on, you're not adding anything to it by getting Kaepernick. I mean, you might for a week, but whatever. If you truly want to win games, sign Kaepernick.
I don't know. I mean, if he would have got signed in fall camp, great. Picking him up this late, learning a new offense, I don't know if he's going to be any better than
he can go to Miami and perform better than Jay Cutler did last week.
Probably, yeah. I mean, you might be right. We'll see. NFL schemes are
look, man.
It's going to be tough for him, but let's get over this. Yeah, it was staged.
We'll never get over it. It's just going to keep going on. It's just it's the way the media is going to work. That's all you're going to, especially with Twitter nowadays, and everybody has their opinions.
The crazy thing is you can even, and I don't really get on, I'll look on Facebook, but I've had friends, and they made some pretty good posts. They didn't side with either side, and they just said, "Look, I watch football for the entertainment.
Right.
All right, it's a Sunday. I've had a long week. I want to watch football for the entertainment. I could care less about the other stuff." And then you go and read the comments, and I try not to, but I had to on one of my. It was my cousin, and somebody comes in and just starts blasting him as a racist and this and that. I'm like, dude, that was the most rational post that I've read on Facebook in years, and it's gonna, people are gonna side on this and.
I mean, yeah, country white. It's literally a lot of country white people make it worse. And obviously, you have look both sides going at each other don't help at all.
It's the extreme of each side, right? It's the what you see in the Trump videos, burning their NFL jerseys, and then it's over here you have the other side who are extreme, liberals or everything's racist, and that's what you have carrying it.
Yeah, exactly.
People like us or that are rational. We don't really voice our opinion as much, I guess.
I'm just trying to see the games.
Yeah, that's all I want to watch.
I need my fantasy team to ball.
Yeah.
I need my Panthers to win. And that's it.
Right.
That's literally it.
Right.
I mean, those the players have different morals than you might have. They have a different religion. They have different this, that. Who cares?
Yeah.
I watch you to play football, and if you're a good, if you seem like a good person too, great.
Well, before we get off of the NFL, going to the Panthers-Eagles game, 4-1 versus 4-1. I think we're getting robbed as fans with these Thursday night games. You basically get 3 days of rest, and then you have to play another NFL football game. So we're not going to get the best product, essentially.
So who do I start? Cousins or Cam?
A good game. I'd start Cam. It's going to suck because it's a Thursday game, so it's dangerous. But the way Cam's been playing, why wouldn't you start Cam?
Yeah.
Who do you say y'all are playing again?
We're playing the Eagles on Thursday.
The Eagles are good.
I'll be there.
Ooh.
You'll be there. Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
I'd play Kirk Cousins versus the 49ers.
Yeah, that's... Although we did just pick up, was it Leon Hall? Oh, watch out. 10-year quarterback veteran.
I mean, look, all I'm saying is...
He hasn't been playing, though.
Detroit has a top defense, and we did that to them, and we only ran for 28 yards in the whole game, so I don't know.
I'm gonna flip a coin because that's a close call.
It's a tough one. It's definitely a tough one. Let's move on to some NBA real quick.
Mm-hmm.
What really the biggest news, which is Joel Embiid, the finesser of the year, King Finesse, gets himself a new deal. What is it? 5-year, $148 million?
Yep, that's correct.
How many games has he played?
31 career games.
Look, in their defense, you can't let a talent like this walk. 1, 2, if he does end up playing, right? And they're good, and he's healthy and can play, this is going to essentially be a deal for them in the long run. And 3, they are a 20-win better team when he's in the lineup. So, in my opinion, I think that this is a good signing for the Sixers. No more trust the process. You're in the process. This is the start of it. You have to, regardless if he plays or not or hasn't. Like that talent, you can't let walk out the door. Somebody in the NBA is.
Yeah, but I mean, he had injury problems at Kansas?
Yeah, but he's still only 22. We'll see.
But I mean, that's a bad. Like you look at Kevin Durant, who's
what are you going to sign him for?
I just don't like people that display tons of injury problems this early on because unless they, I don't know, have a miracle happen, they usually
there's some that make it out. Thomas Davis had 3 on the same knee, and now he's killing it.
But he's not a 7-footer.
Yeah,
7-footers like
Odom.
Man, I don't know.
Look at Greg Odom.
Yeah, but he's not as heavy as Odom.
Yeah, but he puts more. He probably puts more pressure on his knees, by doing some of the finesse stuff. I got a problem. I like that he got paid for Joel Embiid, but it's tough for me unless maybe I could get him on the give him a nutritionist, give him this.
Dude,
trainer.
I'm sure there's something in this.
There has to be some stipulations because that's a risk for the Sixers.
It is.
Pays off for
I think it's a risk you have to take at the end of the day. You have to.
But what made you have to pay him that much?
Well, he's going to get that much on the open market. He knows,
Are you sure?
NBA, yes. What do you mean, am I sure? You don't think Brooklyn will come to his doorstep with more than that?
31 games. I think technically he still qualifies as a rookie.
Yeah, no, he has. It was the rookie max extension is what it was. Something like that is what it was called. But he's going to get that money regardless. So you have to pay him. It's the NBA. Alan Crabb got 4 years, $72 million.
Alan Crabb played a couple of seasons.
Yeah, but Alan Crabb averages like 2 points.
He averages more than that.
Yeah, he does, but I'm just making a point.
I
Joel
think it's
Embiid
a risk.
is a game-changing player if healthy. Your team
That's
is
a big if.
But if you don't have him, you're back to losing tons of games.
Ben
It's not. I'm not complaining about the signing. I'm just complaining about how much I signed him for.
It's what you have to sign him for, and in today's NBA,
it's a lot, man.
I mean,
it's a lot, but like I said, if he does ultimately stay healthy and can put together a whole season, multiple seasons, then it's going to be a deal. The way the NBA contracts are structured, he's going to be playing on a very team-friendly deal for how good he will be.
Or it could play out this way: he's sitting on the bench. He's sitting on the bench injured, and Ben Simmons is all of a sudden balling because he had the one injury, and now he's back balling, and they can't afford to keep him because they signed to Joel Embiid.
They will pay him. It's the NBA. They'll pay him.
But
Joel Embiid's the only.
The
one
Warriors
really
are
paying, so.
OKC will end up paying $300 million next year if y'all all stay together, and they will gladly open up their checkbook and pay that.
Yeah, but outside of Paul George's, they just don't. Joel Embiid is a risk. All right, is it?
He's
worth
a risk,
it?
but I think that's a risk you needed to take as the Sixers.
He doesn't have the track record to,
especially the way the lottery is now. You can't just tank and get number one anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't have done it. I agree. Try to sign him. That's a lot of money. I would have probably just went through the season. Hopefully he can play. Let's see him put together a season, and then we'll get in a bidding war.
I'm sure there's something in there that's either incentive based or if he's hurt, they don't have to pay him X amount of dollars. Blah blah blah. I'm sure it's probably like a 37-page contract.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I hope so.
Let's move on to OKC. Almost losing to Melbourne. Not a big deal in my opinion, but how do you feel about it?
So my receptionist, actually, I gave her the tickets to the game. She went. She liked it. I mean, she said that it was. She said Melbourne was super physical. I actually did not get to. I watched a few of the highlights.
They got chips on their shoulders, man.
Right, but they came in there, and they've got some great talent, and then they've got some older guys, and they were super physical. And the Thunder, outside of the first quarter, they had a lot of the reserves playing, and get them experience. It was exciting for. This is what I would like to see a lot of the preseason games be, for them to play some other European, Australian professional teams.
It's usually just the Thunder, and I've seen the Rockets did it last year, where Jimmer Fredette came in and dropped some buckets on them.
Yeah. It's fun for the fans. It's great exposure for that international team, and it's good experience for your backups because they're playing against some hungry players, professionals, right? I think it's great. I don't put too much stock into them almost losing. They gave the fans a good show. They got a lot of experience for the players. That's pretty much it.
Well, let's hit this show home and hit on the Major League Baseball playoffs. The Red Sox eliminated yesterday by the Astros when they were winning. Terrible. Yankees, Cleveland, they're tied 2-2. That is honestly very interesting. Nobody thought the Indians would be in this situation, especially with how hot they were at the end of the year. The Dodgers clinched. They beat the Diamondbacks. No, did they beat the Diamondbacks? Yeah,
it was the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, beat the Diamondbacks, who had their number all season. And then obviously the Nationals and Cubs are playing tonight with the Nationals down 2-1. Neither team can hit the lick of the ball. So
Nationals were supposed to run away with that series, right? Against the Cubs, or was it?
I mean, Nationals have the offense and they got the pitching too. I don't know. It's literally just been a pitching game. But both teams cannot hit outside of Zimmerman. Zimmerman's the only one really getting hits.
Yeah, and then Harper with that one home run.
Yeah, Harper had the one bomb, which basically won them the game.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Who do y'all got going to the World Series?
Well, mine was already out the window, but I'm going to go Astros, and I'm going to go Dodgers. Astros, Dodgers. That's me right there all the way. Bang.
Yeah. I'd probably go.
Astros don't hit a lot of home runs, but they play some damn good baseball. They just get the ball and play.
Yeah.
And the little man, what's his name? Jose Altuve is ridiculous. He's a midget amongst boys.
It's so hard to pitch to those people that are that small.
Right. Small strikes. That's why we saw Aaron Judge with the most strikeouts ever, right? Or whatever it is, by a rookie or whatever it was, because his strike zone is so big. Yeah, he's going to hit a whole bunch of home runs, but like you can't necessarily just take pitches because every pitch could be a strike to you.
Mm-hmm.
So
absolutely.
Interesting. Well,
clearly Justin doesn't like baseball. I mean, I don't really.
Well, I haven't really kept up with it. Now, when it gets to the World Series, I'll watch.
Yeah.
Baseball to me is I pick up some highlights here and there.
This shows how dead baseball is. That back, I think it was like 2014, 2016, somewhere recently, the Dota 2 National Championship, or League of Legends 2, both had more viewers than the World Series did.
Wow.
So that's just crazy. Shows you where baseball is at.
Baseball's great because you can go to
a
weekday game in person, and that's just cool. It's like I'm watching a professional sporting event during the week at 2:00 in the afternoon, and I'm drinking a beer.
I mean, they were playing playoff games, which is crazy to me. I think if you're in the playoffs, you got to keep all games at night. Like, come on.
Yeah. That I would probably.
Like, I missed almost every Red Sox Astros game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Unless it's on the weekend, then.
Weekend's fine. Yeah. If it's on the weekend, that's cool. But then on the weekend, you got to compete against NFL, college football. Like, I don't know.
What do you think about this? And this is messing with something that's already been there forever. What if they move the mound back a little?
What is that going to do?
I think it'll make it more exciting. It'll make everybody adjust. And I'm not talking about a lot, but I'm talking about maybe 4 or 5 feet. I think offense would obviously pick up.
A lot.
I would just want to see what it would do because
you'd have so much more time to hit a ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really it's going to happen.
Yeah. That would be it. I just wonder because, I mean, some of these, I mean,
there's just there's nothing in baseball, in my opinion, that you can do anyway to make it more exciting. It is what it is at this point.
Yeah.
There's no more nuances. We've seen all the shifts in the book happen for Big Papi and players like that. There's nothing else really out there to make it interesting. Maybe make it virtual of some sort. I don't know. Add less players in the outfield. There's nothing you can do. Literally nothing. Shorten the season, maybe. Get rid of the 1-game playoff series. Make everyone like an NBA style. I don't know. Like,
I like the 1-game playoff series.
I mean, it's cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Is that just for the first round?
Yeah. If it's one best of 5 and then best of 7s, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
We'll see.
I just think, especially with today's day and age, soccer is growing rapidly in America regardless. I mean, MLS is getting bigger and bigger. So
a show that y'all got to watch, it's on Facebook, has got a lot of good shows. First of all, Ball in the Family is real good, but
I like Ball in the Family.
The Real Madrid documentary show, have y'all seen that?
No.
They're like 15 minutes, but like, I mean, I'm more into soccer just by watching, their facilities. They give you tours, Cristiano Ronaldo, some of the other great players. They show, how these players all around Europe are, brought into their academy. They groom them
from a young age.
And I mean, they might be just great players, but they still won't make the Real Madrid team.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, you have your rare cases like Lionel Messi, who was grabbed when he was young, and they brought him over there and like paid for all of his medical expenses, flew his family out, like because they knew he was that good. It's just soccer is such a big entity outside of America. It's crazy.
But and they still have their like JV type team, their G League team.
Oh well, they
get paid. They get paid good. They're like
teams and everything,
and they're young.
And there's so many clubs. Like you might play for I'm trying to think of some random one like West Brom or something like that. Like terrible, like B League teams basically, and you're still making tons of money. Even like the leagues in France. There's one good team in France, PSG. That's it.
When they come back and do that tour where they like played at Michigan, the big house, and
they play in Carolina every year.
Do they? I'm definitely gonna have to go to.
You need to, bro. You need if they go play in like Jerry's World, go see a game. It's quite the experience. If they ever bring the World Cup and we're still alive and kicking, we should go hit a game. Carolina's on the list of host cities. not host cities, but like where games will be played. It'll be interesting. I would love to go see an Icelandic team. I don't know how you describe it, but they just made the World Cup, smallest nation to ever make it. And fun fact on soccer and World Cup, since we're on it, did you know India, the one time they ever made the World Cup, they didn't play because they wouldn't let them play barefooted?
What?
When was this?
Back in the day.
A day, like back in the 1800s?
No, cleats were a thing, but they didn't. They refused to wear cleats. They qualified without cleats, and then FIFA said you had to wear cleats.
So they qualified without cleats.
Yeah,
that's phenomenal.
Yeah,
if I were to say, that's pretty crazy, dude.
Nuts. I think MLS is on the rise for sure. I mean, LeBron's investing in a team with David Beckham. And LeBron's already invested in Liverpool overseas. So. Yeah. It's definitely on the rise. I think they should have taken that $4 billion deal. That was like all they had to do was put in regulation and like promotions and demotions. It would have made it way more exciting than the traditional U.S. playoff bracket style.
Yeah.
So yeah, they should have.
Imagine if the NFL had that. That'd be interesting. We'll leave it on that for the week. Think about that. If the NFL had a style like that where there were set teams, and then the four bottom ones or something get replaced, because the Browns would just be chilling in the B League. It would force you to be good. You know what I mean?
I kind of like that.
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
I like that.
It's just it'd be a lot of cities with teams, but
my Sooners were upset. I do have to mention that.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's talk about it. Terrible.
It was very. I mean, we got up on them big. We could have got up on 31-10, and we screwed up and fumbled the ball.
I think that's what turned it.
We lost, man. Iowa State, they were scrappy. They had a good game plan, but I would say
middle linebacker and quarterback sometimes crazy.
Lanning, yeah, that dude's an athlete. But
their third string quarterback is good,
bro. Well, I mean, he's been to a couple places. Like he went to Oregon State. Didn't like it there. It was like too far away from home, whatever. Went to Hutchinson. Didn't play that much because the quarterback in front of him was good. Finally gets his chance. Bro, he was throwing dots.
He looked good. He was making plays.
Yeah, he looked good, but OU...
It doesn't help. OU's defense is always bad. Not always bad, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, we've got some definitely... But it's a lot of just fundamental breakdowns on, letting them get to the outside, that corner... letting them get to the outside. It's just stupid stuff that happened, but OU beat themselves. Okay, let's not get it twisted. We were up by 2 touchdowns with 6 minutes to go in the game, or 6 or 7 minutes to go in the game. We lost ourselves. This week, no matter what the records are, OU, Texas, down in Dallas in the Cotton Bowl, we've got to bring it, and I'm hoping OU could put this behind us like we did last year when we.
I'm sure they will. I feel Baker Mayfield's probably on some Tim Tebow type stuff right now. We'll never lose. Like you'll never see a team perform harder than us.
Let's hope so. Let's hope so. I had to mention that.
Staying on college football before we dip. Georgia, number 4 in the nation now. Number 3. Somewhere.
Are y'all?
Yeah.
I did not realize y'all jumped up.
I mean, look, man, best rushing attack in the damn country.
Yeah.
Probably top 3 defense behind Alabama and Clemson. So Kirby Smart's got us balling, man. Kirby Smart's putting us on the map. Before we get out of here, Jim Harbaugh's overrated, and I'm done. I'm done.
All right. Tune back in next week for
episode 26.
Clinton Portis.
No,
Clinton Portis.
Don't even give it to Jairus. Jairus doesn't want to show up, so no.
Jairus don't want to show up ever.
All right, what are we doing? 26.
26. Let's go. Who was Lindell White 26? Nah, he was like 28.
Oh no, he was 25.
Come on, Diggs, you gotta have another 26. I came up with one on the spot. That's 26. Only 26 I know
26. Oh man, I know one. What? Was Deshaun Foster 26?
Lamar Miller?
Miller.
Yeah, F it. Lamar Miller, dude. Whatever. Tune in next week for the temporary Lamar Miller episode.
He might be replaced.
Intro. Yeah, it might be replaced. So,
all right.
That's it. Peace.